Hello and welcome to the USA News Updates. Here are today's top stories shaping Africa and beyond. In the Middle East, on 2nd March 2026, the war between Iran and Israel underlined for spread further across the Middle East, with Israel launching airstrikes on Hezbollah position in southern Beirut and part of Iran after renewed missile and drone barrages by Tehran, described by Iranian force as having opened the great gates of fire against Israel. Lebanese state media reported that 1 killed and 149 injured in the strikes, while Iranian cities explosions amid the intense bombardments. USA President Donald Trump labeled the offensive Operation Epic Fury and indicated it could continue for weeks, even as a global airspaces faced several disruptions due to the hostilities. In Saudi Arabia, Saudi Aramco refinery shut down after drone strikes on 2nd March in 2026. On the morning of 2nd March 2026, Saudi Aramco announced the pre-auction shutdown of its massive Ras Tanura oil refinery after it was struck by drone attack amid the expanding Middle East conflict linked to the broader USA-Israel military campaign against Iran. Truth, no casualties were reportedly, and the fire caused by debris was limited. The closure of one of the region's most important energy facilities has heightened a global energy security concern and driven oil market sharply higher. Industry sources noted the impact on supply routes, particularly through the strategic Strait of Hormuz, where ship traffic has nearly halted amid ongoing attacks. In Europe, on 2nd March 2026, European leaders signaled a significant shift in their stance on the escalating Middle East conflict, moving from cautious diplomacy toward preparedness for defensive action after reprisal by Iran following the USA-Israel military campaign. Le Monde reported that France, Germany, and the United Kingdom jointly stated their readiness to undertake defensive actions to protect their interests and those of allies, including authorizing USA use of British bases, marking departure from either restraints. A German Chancellor, Friedrich Merz, acknowledged limits to European diplomacy with Iran and underscored the need for military readiness, while EU committed to strengthen its presence in the Gulf to secure critical maritime routes like the Strait of Hormuz. On Europe markets, on 1st March 2026, Europe's smartphone market received an Iris signal Samsung next mid-range lineup as the Galaxy A57 and Galaxy A37 appeared in the European Union April Energy Rebering database, reviewing key details about the battery endurance and the durability ahead of their expected launch. According to the listing, both models and an A energy efficiency rating and showing significantly improved battery life, up to 53 hours on a single charge for the A37 and 52 hours for the A57, compared with earlier Galaxy A series phone, and both carry IP68 dust and water resistance rating, indicating stronger protection against the elements. Industry observers noted that when this document appear and circulate on the web, it's a sign clear that the launch approaches at a full speed. They are pointing to Samsung's strategy bolstering its mid-range segments with longer lasting batteries and enhanced durability to meet ongoing consumers' demand for service that balances performance with efficiency. In Rwanda, 1st March 2026, engineers from Rwanda Defense Force (RDF) engineers contingent teamed up with engineers from the Jamaica Defense Force (GDF) to conduct a community service day known as Umuganda at the Blessed Assurance Institution, an orphanage for children with disability in St. James Parish, Jamaica, as part of ongoing post-Hurricane Mauritius recovery efforts. The activity involving repairing and restoring essential facilities to support vulnerable children in the aftermath of the storm, underscoring shared commitment to humanitarian assistance and infrastructure rehabilitation. A GDF representative highlighted the collaboration important things, saying that joint work reflects solidarity in helping communities recover and rebuild stronger after disaster. This outreach illustrated the RDF's broader engagements in international cooperation and disaster response beyond its national borders. DRC, the humanitarian situation in the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, remains extremely grave in 2026, with the multiple United Nations agencies warning of one of the world's largest hunger emergencies. According to WFP, January 2026, the Integrated Food Security Phase classification on estimated 26.6 million people faces crisis level or worse food insecurity, particularly in North Kivu, South Kivu, Ituri, and Tanganyika. Nearly half of all children under 5 are chronically malnourished, and millions have been displaced by ongoing violence. The crisis is worsened by the DRC armed force failure to fully observe ceasefire agreement, which perpetuates fighting, blocks access to vulnerable population, and disrupts food distribution. Humanitarian agencies stress that persistent conflict, infrastructure damage, and funding shortfalls require urgent international support to prevent further deterioration. In Mauritius, on 1st March 2026, the latest Africa Happiness Index report ranked Mauritius as the first happiest country on the continent, with the study noting that it's a stable democracy, robust social welfare system, free universal health care, and a strong sense of peace have kept it at the top of the list for several years. Learning, according to the report, for several years, running Mauritius have held the crown thanks in the part to its democratic institutions and broad social support system. And in 2026, it remained the most peaceful country in sub-Saharan Africa. In sports boxing, on 2nd March 2026, a boxing fan around the world were buzzing as a former heavyweight world champion Tyson Fury. His comeback fights against Russian contender Alsnabak Makamduvor, scheduled on April 1st, 2026 at London's Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and set to be streamed live on Netflix. High-profile return after his retirement following back-to-back losses to Oriskandar Uskifari has hinted these bouts might be the end of his competitive career, with this recent reporting noting that the fight will feature Conor Ben vs Regis on the undercard, and that Fury may even enter the ring without a trainer, calling himself one-man army. Analysts say the heavyweight calendar for 2026 is shaping up to be one of the most entertaining in years, with several matchups and Fury's potential final about capturing a global attention. That's all from now from the USA New Times. Don't forget to follow us on our social media for more updates, and thank you so much for staying with us.